Following the first cyber symposium that ended up with utter embarrassment and no reinstatement of former President Donald Trump, MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell is coming back for round 2. And that means it's time for another episode of Pillow Talk.
God gave me this platform. I already know I'm going to win.
China did our vote. Biden and Harris would say, hey, we're here to protect the country, and resign.
Mike Lindell's a conspiracy.
But you haven't.
Just forget about the evidence. This was attacked.
So earlier this week, One American News Network, or whatever, hosted Mike Pillow for a friendly chat after his embarrassing and ham-fisted 3-day cyber symposium, of which, by the way, OAN aired over 30 hours live. 30 hours. Wow. Speaking on Friday, Lindell, during that program, said he was going to look into doing a second symposium. Watch.
We're bringing all the evidence that'll end up going to the Supreme Court, but for now, I'm actually looking at the next symposium we'll have in maybe about 6 to 7 weeks, but it'll be different. We're going to take now that we had all the legislators there. By the way, we had it from all 50 states, and they brought up all kinds of things with the dominion, with the machines and the election fraud. So all of these states now, like we had that Tina Peters, she was there in Colorado. So we're going to be reaching out to everyone, and they're all going to be getting engaged with their state attorney generals and secretary of states, and we want audits across all 50 states. So this really made awareness for everybody and for the magnitude of this election, that fraud. And each state is on their own, and where each state, they can do their own audits and they can pull down the electors. There's no statute of limitations on fraud in our country with an election. Every official in history in the United States, every elected politician, where they found out later that fraud was committed, the one that won gets put back in immediately. So there's a lot of paths. We've had a lot of lawyers look at everything, and we're going to keep putting out there what the best path, but we're going to put on, we're not going to give up on one path because this path is going slower. We just keep going, even though I believe it'll be this fall. I'm hoping September. I mean, the earlier the better because of what's going on out there.
Another cyber. Well, okay, so some of you in the chat, I read it as cyber suppository, and I was like, you know what? That kind of fits, because the entire thing was fully and entirely full of shit. And so, as usual in these segments, the debunking shall commence. So for one, he talked about pulling down the results. I just want to reiterate, for the record, there's never been a situation where a president was pulled down for voter fraud. Never happened. Never. There's literally no constitutional mechanism for reinstating a former president as a result of so-called voter fraud. Just saying, not a thing. Doesn't exist outside of Mike Pillow's drug-addled dreams, okay? But of course, notice too, the important thing is where he has once again moved the goalpost. First, it was supposed to be August 13th, and look, a lot of these, I mean, I really don't know if I should be making this comparison, but it kind of fits. It feels right. The doomsday cultists that are like, oh, what was it, May 21st, 2012 or something? Or no, sorry, December 21st, 2012. That's when the world will end. Mayan calendar. That's what it says. That's what it says. It's going to end. And then it doesn't. And they're like, oops. Or like, just like the numerous doomsday prophets throughout history, when the thing that they say is going to happen on a certain date and it doesn't happen, the first thing that they do is, oh, you know what? We interpreted it wrong. We read the tea leaves and wrong and the chicken entrails, so we're going to have to go back. But don't worry, it's next year. It's next year. That's what's going to happen. Or 2 years from now. This is what it feels like. I swear to God, we're going to get to 2030, 2035, 2040, if we're all still alive at that point, due to climate change. But, like, we're going to get to that point, and there's still going to be MAGA chuds running around saying, Donald Trump is going to be reinstated any day. They're going to prove the voter fraud. Mike Pillow has the 42nd Symposium. This time, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. At some point, they're going to try to even weekend at Bernie's, Trump's corpse and prop him up. That's real. He's our real president. He's a real president. Jesus. And yet, here's the thing. Lindell is a habitual liar. We know it. He claims over and over and over, we're being attacked. Oh, the media. Oh, they're hacking us. And of course, there's never any evidence of that. He even claimed, by the way, he was attacked by Antifa during his cyber suppository. I mean, symposium. Okay. Now, funny story on that one. So now, I showed you the footage where he's like, I was just attacked on the way to my hotel room. I think it was Antifa. And, I'm okay, but they tried to attack me. Well, it turns out his alleged assailant was actually a fan who wanted a picture with him. And Lindell said that while the two took a selfie together, the man decided to poke him in the ribs. Quote, he put his arm around and stuck his finger. It was so much pressure. I just knew if I did anything, something more was coming. He jammed it in where it was this piercing pain. Bitch. Sad baby. So what's interesting here is you have somebody who's ostensibly on Mike Pillow's side coming out later and saying, actually, no, that's not what happened. And this is Jeff Buongiorno, who was a conference attendee and a pro-Trump congressional candidate in Florida. So he was there. He was in the symposium, and he witnessed this, right? And here's what he said. There was no attack. It was a quote-unquote, a nothing burger. He said that he saw Lindell walk into the elevator after the photo was taken, and that he did not appear to be in any pain. It is a glass elevator, by the way. Lindell told the Associated Press that the poke caused him to, quote, double over in pain, and that he's personally investigating how the fan could have shoved an object between his ribs. Now, apparently there was some alleged yellow object, which turned out to be a tangerine. This is according to Salon reporter Zachary Patrizio, who echoed witnesses. So there's a bunch of people that are like, yeah, he poked him in the ribs with a tangerine. Plus, as Buongiorno tweeted, quote, those elevators are glass, and witnesses saw Lindell go up to the 6th floor. There was no doubling over. There was no, again, constant victimhood. You want to talk about victimhood mentality? This is the best example of it. Best example. And they're all about it. Oh, the election is stolen. Oh, they're hacking my phone by calling me in a public number. Oh, they're attacking me. My symposium, it was hacked. The Antifa people poked me in the ribs like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Oh, look, he even said that it was one of the worst attacks he'd ever experienced. Get out of here. Whiny, sad, pathetic little snowflake. Oh, everybody's after me. Oh, everybody's after me. But here's the thing, right? So modern conservative politics, as I pointed out plenty of times, it's white grievance. That's all it is. I mean, that's what the modern conservative movement really thrives and runs on. They're in a constant state of being aggrieved, being angry about something, being mad about something, being the victim of liberal leftist aggression, which For some reason, progressive liberals are evil, Marxists who have all the power in the world and are crushing and canceling and destroying conservatives, but at the same time are latte swilling soy boys that are, transgender or filled with female hormones. It doesn't make any sense. It's Schrodinger's leftist. Really, that's what it is. I mean, come on. But it is white grievance. I mean, how many times do conservatives say, I've been canceled. I've been canceled. Okay, well, if you've been canceled, why are you still here? What is that? What does that even mean? It's not even a real thing. What happens when you're canceled? Maybe you get some mean tweets. You get a ratio on Twitter, if you're not kicked off Twitter, by breaking their own terms of service. I thought they cared about the free market and what the free market actually says, and that, platforms have the ability to take people off who break their own rules. I mean, I don't know. Nothing really life-destroying happens. I mean, lefties get canceled all the time. Hassan Piker being canceled right now for buying a house. Ridiculous. Nobody cares. He didn't exploit employees. Let him buy a house. A little house is a treat. Bosch has been canceled I don't know how many times. He's still doing content. He's still here. Still doing fine. But on the right wing, understand that on the right wing, it's even worse. Because if you scream that you're being canceled, it helps you. It really does. I mean, conservatives, they hear that and they go, oh my God, cancel culture. We must now rally. You know why? It's because it's all about playing the victim. It's a really, really good grift. It's such a good grift. And it also helps you avoid the actual reality, in the case of Mike Lindell, that he has nothing to back up his claims. No proof. And that's why he screams victimhood all day long. And there's also an added benefit of setting up an enemy. The left, the deep state, China, or they. We'll just say they, right? They hacked my Symposium. It's a shady, nebulous enemy so that I guess people could fill in the blanks and say, well, I can't believe blank would do something like that. I can't believe they would cancel me like this. It's all to avoid the reality. And of course, a lot of times we know exactly who they fill in the blank to be. And it usually ends up going in an anti-Semitic direction. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.